Hey everybody, it's me, Casey Grayson, and I want to make a video for you guys about physical training and the physical training tests at BMT. It's a big thing that a lot of people worry about. I was worried about it before I first got there to boot camp, but guess what? I don't want you to sweat it. If you prepare yourself and you kind of know what you're going into, you'll be all right, trust me. The thing with boot camp that you want to remember is that they're paying you to be there. They're investing a lot of money for you to be there. They want you to pass, and most people do. All right, so let's get into it. One of the things I really recommend, okay, is exercising before you get there. For women, you're going to want to be able to run 1.5 miles in under 17 minutes. That's what you should aim for. And for guys, you're really going to want to be able to run that 1.5 miles in under 14 minutes. Okay, these are kind of like the minimum that you should aim for. Women, aim for doing 40 push-ups in a minute and 40 sit-ups. Guys, you want to aim for 50 push-ups in a minute, 50 sit-ups. It sounds like a lot, but guess what? You can do that. And the thing with the push-ups, you just got to go down at like 180-degree angle. You don't have to even go all the way down. And for the sit-ups, you literally just take your elbows and you're touching your thighs. That counts. Okay, so it's easier than what the Army has to do. So yeah, 1.5 miles, that's 6 laps around an Olympic-sized track. You can do it, you can work up to it. Yes, there are some people who haven't done much physical exercise and end up being able to do what they need to do at BMT. I don't recommend it though. It's a lot of stress and you don't want to injure yourself. So many people ended up getting injured because they hadn't done any running before and they ended up getting hairline fractures. That was the most common injury and one of the most common things that put people in med hold is hairline fractures. They weren't used to running on the pavement, on the concrete, basically. So that's another reason why I also recommend try to, when you're getting ready and you're getting physically fit before BMT, give yourself at least 2 months. It's possible to do it in a month, but give yourself 2 months or more. I gave myself 6 months, really helped me out. I didn't have to really worry that much about the fitness aspect of things. I really recommend it, and try to run outside. Try to find a track. Like most public schools will have like a track that you can use. There are a lot of indoor fitness centers, or even if you're just running in the park or somewhere outdoors, you know, obviously be safe, wear a reflective vest, don't really listen to music. You want to be aware of your surroundings, but try to run. You want to get your bones and your muscles used to the impact of running on a hard surface, all right? So let's go into what the actual PT tests are like. So at BMT, normally you're gonna have 3 tests. One within like the first week. So when you get there, there's 0 week, which is the first couple of days. And then when you go into that first week, that's when you really officially start to get into the swing of things. It's going to be sometime during then. Then you're going to have another test, PT test about halfway through, and then you're going to have another PT test, the one that actually counts at about week 6 or 7, just depending. So that's about a week or 2 before graduation, okay? So the PT test is a mix of points, all right? I'm going to put some links below. The Air Force actually has some free apps that talk about, you know, the fitness standards and allow you to calculate it. But generally, it's a mix of your run time, right? It's also a mix of how many sit-ups you can do in a minute and how many push-ups you can do in a minute, and your waist, okay? Now, with the waist, there are a lot of people who they kind of suck in their gut. BMTIs kind of know that happens, so, you know, I wouldn't worry too much about that. You don't want to be over, for guys, you don't really want to have a waist size that's over 38 inches. And for women, you have to be under 36 inches. The run, that's where you're going to get most of your points from. And here's the thing, you can bust out all the sit-ups, bust out all the push-ups, have the right waist circumference. They take a tape measure and measure around the hips. If you've been to MEPS, they've done that. Also, your recruiters, they definitely should have done that by now. You know, if you talked with a recruiter and gone through the process. But if you mess up with your run time, you're going to automatically fail, unfortunately. So that's why the run is really important. But concentrate on all of it, you know, but especially the run. that's where most of your points are coming from for the PT test. Okay, so remember that first one, that first PT test, I wouldn't worry too much about it. The second one, you want to see some progress. The third one, I really recommend it. Now, here's another thing about the strategy, okay? When you're running, don't worry about how fast everyone else is going. You want to go at a steady pace. And actually what helped me is when you're going around the track, you go fast around the straight portion, and then you slow down a little bit on the curve, and then you go fast again, and you keep doing that. I saw a lot of people who would just run as fast as possible, like the first 2-3 laps, and then they would just tire themselves out. You want to go for a consistent speed. Now on that last lap, that 6th lap, when you get about halfway through it, just sprint. Sprint as fast as possible. Go as fast as possible. Even if you end up, a lot of people ended up throwing up at the end of it. Don't worry about it. Just you want to get to that finish line, and you can actually gain a lot of time if you sprint in that last portion. So go a steady pace through the first 5.5 laps, and then that last lap, especially that last half lap, go for it. Like, just speed up. That really helps. And like I said, don't worry about what other people are doing or how fast other people are going. You do you, okay? You do what works for you. Go at that steady pace. Another thing that's really, really super important, in my opinion, when you get there, that initial PT test, you're going to get assigned categories. So there is the red belt, yellow belt, green belt, and then the blue belt, okay? Red means you're kind of in the danger zone. Try not to do red. Red means like you're kind of just like not as physically fit. And these are just labels. Don't worry about it. I mean, yellow belt, you're kind of like, you're okay. Green belt, you're pretty fast. Blue belt, that's like super fast. And hopefully what you want to do is you want to up the belts. So let's say you get there and you are a red belt or a yellow belt. Hopefully by the second PT test, you want to get up a belt, and then by the third test, you know, you're good. You want to go, you really want to put effort into these PT tests. But like I said, the first one, don't worry too much about it. Second one, it doesn't really officially count. It's only the third PT test that actually counts. But give it your best, and that's another reason why I say, hey, really, really go for it. So this is how the PT test goes. Y'all go out on the track, okay? Some MTIs, they will have you do the sit-ups and the push-ups first. So you'll be with a partner, and they will count how many you do, and then you'll count how many they do. And the MTI will come around and write it down. Then you'll go to the track, okay? Y'all kind of be, they've changed a little bit because of COVID, but basically y'all kind of spread out a little bit, and you go, you know. And what they do with the actual running portion, they give you this little chip that you basically put, there's a special pocket that is actually in your athletic shorts that you get issued. And you put it in there, and it's basically like it's got an RFID chip in it, and it actually it basically records your time when you run past the finish line. Very accurate. So that's a way to do that. Just be aware of it. So basically, it'll record your time. But one of the things that I really did is I had a watch, and I would time myself as well. And I would make sure that I was looking at what my time was, just for my own comfort. They have a big clock that'll show you how it goes. So that's how the PT tests go. And, you know, so you're exercising a lot. You're exercising basically 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. And you alternate between run days and strength days. The run days are like this, basically. You stretch every time you stretch. And then you go out onto the PT pad, which is right by the dorms, and you run basically for 36 minutes. It's self-paced. And in my opinion, I don't think it's the best way to do it. You know, there'll be MTIs who, if you're not running as fast, you also have to wear that silly belt. Like I was saying, if you have the red belt, sometimes they'll yell at you more. So try to put a lot of effort into it. You want to be keeping track of your run time. I kept track of my run time in my notebook that I had, just so I knew that I was making progress. Definitely recommend that. So those are the run days. Basically, you're just running around the track for 36 minutes. You start running for 30 seconds, then you walk for 30 seconds. You do that like a couple times, and then you just run. It is what it is. Strength days, you're doing a bunch of body weight exercises. You know, you're doing push-ups and flutter kicks, and you're going to be doing a lot of flutter kicks, let me tell you. Stuff like that. So with the push-ups and the sit-ups, usually people build up their strength. So that's why I wouldn't worry too much about that. The run is super, super important though. Start doing that cardio. Try to do it outside or on an actual track, even if the track's indoors. Try not to listen to music when you're exercising, because you're not going to be able to have music when you're there. And I've talked about this in another video, but for physical training, pre-workout, caffeine, energy drinks, all that stuff, I would wean myself off of that stuff. Start at least a month before you get to BMT, because you're not gonna have any of that stuff. You'll sometimes have access to coffee at chow times, but the coffee's not good. Just saying. Anyway, I hope this video helped. If you got questions, leave a comment below. I'll try to help you out, get back to you, definitely. And if there's other things you want to know, leave a comment. And also, please subscribe, like, and share this video. It really helps me out. And thank you guys so much for watching. And have a great day. Thanks, guys.